Right. So good afternoon to you all. Talking about relationships, right? So at the latter part of the last class, we started this all important area, relationship. I define the term relationship as an association between two tables, right? Don't forget this definition. This is actually not to memorize. If you understand, this will be in your mind, right? So if two tables are connected together, that connection is called relationship, right? So association between two tables, not two databases, not the connection between two fields, not the connection between two records. It is a connection between two tables, right? So that is important. That is the first thing that you should remember or understand about relationship, right? Association or connection between two tables. There are three types of connections. There are three types of relationships: one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many, right? One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. Right, so I started to explain the first relationship type, which is one-to-one, in the last class, right? So hope just take that one-to-one quickly. After recalling that one, I will continue, right? So what is one-to-one relationship? There should be two tables. So if data in one table or first table has only one similar data in the second table, and also as a vice versa, if a data in the second table has only one similar data in the first table, then it is called one-to-one, right? You have to check in both directions. So take a look at this example again. So this is the one which I explained earlier. These two tables have relationship. Look at the first table, student table, the second table, payment table. Both have relationship. So I just mentioned that they have relationship because you can see that admission number in both tables, right? That field ADNO is found in both tables. So with the help of that common field, these two tables can be connected. Don't forget that this is the primary key of student table, right? ADNO is the primary key of student table. But here in payment table, I take received number as primary key. So this is the primary key of student table, but the same admission number is found in payment table. That is not the primary key because primary key has already been defined. Received number is the primary key. So you know this is foreign key, right? We studied. So primary key of one table is connected with the foreign key of another table to make the relationship, right? So now because of these two ADNO fields, the relationship has been created, right? Okay. So I already told you how to check or how to find the one-to-one, right? Not one-to-many, not many-to-many, right? I didn't touch those parts. So I just explained about how to identify the one-to-one, and also I explained the behavior of one-to-one. Okay, so look here, these two tables have one-to-one relationship, but for my demonstration purpose, listen to me, right? For my demonstration purpose, I assume that this table has only 4 records and this table also has 4 records, right? This is only for demonstration purpose. But as we discussed earlier, this table may have hundreds records. This table also has hundreds of records. But since you are learning one-to-one as very first time, let me take only these 4 records in the first table, right? So here also only 4 records. If you think that there are some other records to come, then sometimes you may have confusions in understanding one-to-one. But once we understood all these 3 relationships, then we can take some complex things, right? So don't worry about that part. For now, remember this has only 4, and also payment table has only 4, right? Okay. So how to check the relationship? So now you have to check, or you have to take the common field into consideration. Keep an eye on the common field. Forget about the rest of the field. This student table may have many fields, right? This payment table also has many fields. Forget all of them, hide all of them, except the common field, right? Because common field is the one which makes the relationship or which creates the relationship, right? Okay, so how to find it? So first of all, you have to check from student table to payment table in one direction. Even you can start from payment to student. Of course, it is correct. But I'm starting from student and then coming to payment, right? In this direction, right here. So how to find the relationship? So take every data in the common field and see how many similar data are found in payment table in the same field, right? So how to check that? Check that 1000. So I have a data there in student table. So now you have to check how many times this 1001 is available in payment table. How many times? So we have only 4 records, right? So don't think that there are records to come, only 4 records. So how many times 1001 is there in the payment table? Only 1. So here one data that has only one similar data in the payment table. Checking that first record is not enough to make the conclusion as it is one-to-one during in this direction. I just checked the first record and found one-to-one, but it is not enough because you have to check all these records, right? So check the other one. So now there are 1002, that is a data. How many times that 1002 entered here in payment table? Again 1, right? 1004, one data, how many times it's entered there? Only 1, right? 1005 there, how many times entered? Only 1. So now I can be sure about this conclusion. So a data in student table has only one similar data in payment table. So during this, in this direction, it is 1-to-1, right? 1-to-1. But having one-to-one in one direction is not enough to make the conclusion as the whole relationship is one-to-one, right? So now we found one-to-one only in this direction from student to payment. But to confirm the relationship as one-to-one, you have to check on the opposite direction. So now you have to go in this manner, right? Opposite manner. From payment to student, right? From payment to student in this opposite direction. So how to check that? Again, same thing. Keep an eye on common fields, right? Start from this 1001 because earlier we started from that 1001 because we started from student table. Now we are starting from payment table, right? So I take a data. How many times that 1001 is there? Only 1. Okay, so let's take the second one, 1002. I took a data there. How many times 1002 available there? Only 1. 1004. Here I have a data. How many similar data found? Again 1. I take the last data, which is 1005. How many times 1005 found? Only 1. So a data in payment table, right? A data in payment table has only one similar data in student table. So when we checked from student to payment, we found one-to-one relationship. Even when we checked from payment to student, we also got the same one-to-one relationship. So what is the conclusion? The relationship between student and payment is one-to-one, right? This is the idea behind it. This is not the new thing. I already explained such things in the previous class, right? But I took it again because to refresh you, because without this idea, I cannot proceed or I cannot forward, right? That may be the reason why I took it. Okay. From this point, we will learn some new things. Okay. Listen to me carefully, right? These are important. So I just mentioned that these two tables, right, student table and payment table, have one-to-one relationship, right? So you know how to check them. But look here, I might have mentioned this point too in the last class, but I have to take it again for elaborate, right? So look here. So what is the meaning of one-to-one? Data in a table or in one table has only one similar data in the second table. In the opposite manner, a data in the second table should have only one similar data in the first table. This is the idea behind one-to-one, or even I can take that as a definition, right? This is the definition for one-to-one. But listen to me carefully. This definition is not only for this table, right? This definition is not given specifically for this table. Whenever you have one-to-one relationship between two tables, this is possible. This description or this definition can be given. So assume you have another two table and they also have one-to-one, right? Assume they also have one-to-one. So in that case, the same definition which I just gave can be given for those two tables for describing. So whenever you have two tables in one-to-one, this common dialogue or common description can be, but based on the data which the tables have, right? Based on the data which the tables have, this one-to-one relationship can be interpreted or can have a special meaning, right? So generally we define that one data in first table has only one data in second table. One data in second table should have only one data in the first. This is the common definition. But this definition gets more meaning or special meaning when it is taken or when it comes to tables, right? So look here. I want to describe this one-to-one in a different manner. Listen to me, this is important, right? You have to understand carefully, then only it will become easy, right? If you have any doubts or any confusions, ask me, right? So you can ask at the time when I explain, then only you can clarify, right? Listen to me carefully, right? So I have two tables, student and payment, and we also identified one-to-one relationship, right? So let me explain that one-to-one in detail in terms of these two tables, okay, right? For that demonstration purpose, I just want to show you a small diagram. Remember, these diagrams are not important for grade 10, but when I take the diagram, it is easy to understand the concept. That's why I'm taking it, right? So I have two tables. Let me take a table, student table, right? Remember, this is student table. I put a rectangle or something. This is student table. Right, this is student table. Here it looks like a typical table, but here I put it similar table, but I put that as a rectangle. I don't want to show any attributes there, right? Just a table, okay? I don't want to show any fields. Fields can also be called attributes, okay? Right. So we have another table, payment. So remember, this is payment table, right? Another rectangle. This is payment table. Okay, student table is shown as a rectangle. This payment table also shown there. Okay, right. Both these two tables have relationship, right? Both of them have relationship. We already identified, right? They have one-to-one. Okay, so let me show the relationship. So I put a small diamond symbol there. Actually, these are some of the standard notations. So standard symbols used to describe some objects in databases. But fortunately, we don't have such things in our syllabus, right? So you don't need to bother everything. But if you can, try to remember, tables can be shown in a rectangle manner. For showing the relationship, we use a small diamond, right? Diamond symbol. So here, this is a payment table. That's why I use a rectangle. Here, student table, again a rectangle. They have connections, right? They have their relationship. So to describe the relationship, I just drawn a diamond symbol. Inside of a diamond symbol, I have to write these. Actually, again, I tell you, these are not important for your exams or for your studies. But if you understand such thing, it is too easy to understand the real meaning of one-to-one in these two tables, right? That's why I'm explaining. Okay. So look here, this is student table. This is payment table. So we all know that the student table has student details, right? Even if I don't show these two tables, I assume these two tables are hidden, are erased. And also now you are watching only these two things. I have already raised these things. So even if you don't have student table and payment table on the board, you can imagine, right? Because this is student table, definitely this table has students' details, such as name, maybe admission number, date of birth, age, address, all of them are there. Simply, student table has students' data. This is payment table. So everyone knows that the payment table has payment related data. Maybe amount, maybe the receipt number, because whenever there is a payment made, receipt has to be issued, right? Receipt number. So maybe some other related things. We don't know what are the other things, may be possible, right? Okay. So this has payment details. This has student details. So now I have to check the connection between these two, because here students are there, here payments are there. So you know what is the relationship between these two? I can describe the relationship in one word using a verb, right? So students make payments, right? Students make payments, or students pay payments. Better use the word make, right? So we often use the word make for payment. So students make payment. So assume this is student. This is let's say subject. Assume for explaining this relationship, I take another example. You have a student table and you have a subject table. So what is the connection between student and subject? Student study subject, or student follow subject, or whatever. So use a verb for describing. So in my case, it is make. Student make payments. These notations or these names are not important if you can understand or remember. Okay, right. So we already found one-to-one, right? We already checked the one-to-one relationship. So let me put one here and one here. Okay, we already identified the relationship in between these two tables, right? So that is one-to-one. So that's why I put one-to-one, right? So now let me explain the real meaning of one-to-one in these two tables, right? So listen to me carefully. So here, let's start from student table now, right? Let's start from student table and go towards payment table. So student table, don't forget, student table has students. Payment table has payments, right? So here, in student table, I have one, right? I have one. I already told you that student table has students. So one here means one student, right? One student. So I can write one student. What is the connection between them? Or so in which manner they relate or they connected? They are connected. Make. So one student can make, right? One student can make. What is their payment, right? What is their payment? But note there is a one. Now complete the sentence. Can anyone complete the sentence?
One student make payment.
One student
Make one payment.
Yes, one student can make one payment. Have you understood? That is the real meaning of this one-to-one. See, earlier we checked one data here. Go back and check it. One data here has only one similar data in the payment table. Not only 1001, see 1002. Here a data has only one similar data in the second table. This is a common definition. But the real meaning is here. Because in student table, you have student data. So one data in student table means one student. Has only one similar data in payment table means one payment. So in this direction, right, from student to payment, this is the meaningful sentence or meaningful description. A student can make only one payment, right? So one student make only one payment, better add the word only, right? So in the opposite direction, right? Listen to me carefully, right? Even in the opposite direction, we checked the data here, right? The data here has only one similar data in the first table, right? Come back here. Now, from student to payment, we have extracted a meaningful sentence or meaningful description. One student can make only one payment. But this is not enough, or this is a partial meaning for one-to-one here. It will be completed when you take the opposite meaning, right? So try understanding the opposite one, right? So now we are taking in the opposite direction, from payment to student. Anyone has idea about what is the meaningful description to be given when it comes to payment to student?
A payment is paid by a student.
Yes. Look here, now we have to start from payment side, right? Start from payment side, right? So here, what are they in the payment table? Payments, right? In payment table, payments are there. In student table, students are there. So look here, in front of payment, you have one. So which means one payment, a payment, anything okay, right? One payment. Right, a payment. But see, what is the connection between these two? Make. So one payment can be made. It can be made. Complete the sentence. Can be made. Look there. In front of student, you have one. So one payment can be made by one student. Right. So made by only one student. Right? Only one student. This is the meaningful idea, meaningful description extracted from this table. But when it comes to one-to-one relationship, you can give a common description like I gave earlier, right? A data in first table has only one similar data in the second table, and data in the second table has only one similar data in the first table. That is of course okay, but that gives a common idea. But you must understand the real meaning of one-to-one in a specific tables. Right? So here, in these two tables, one-to-one relationship can be interpreted as this. Right? So again, I tell you, so I put this small diagram in order to explain the meaning, but these are not important for you. You don't need to bother about the symbols and other things, but take these two table name in two sides, and there is a relationship between them. So use a verb for describing them. Here students, here payments. So students make the payment, right? Students pay the payment. So I put the make verb. So if you put a verb, then you can easily make a sentence, meaningful sentence. So now after drawing the symbols and writing the names, show the relationship, right? So it is one-to-one, write one-to-one in both sides. After that, try getting a meaningful sentence. So you can start from the beginning. So here student, so one there, so one student. The relationship is make, so make only one payment. In the opposite manner, right? You have to start from this. What are they? They are payments. So one payment, because one is there, one payment is made by, since one is there, So one student, made by one student. Right? So even you can check that. You can check these meaningful ideas here. Because look there, for example, look there, this 1001, this 1001 is entered only one time, right? There is no more 1001. I have only 1001, only one time. Why? This 1001, who is it? Saman. This 1001, which is Saman, made only one payment. He paid only 500 rupees and got 001. Note, Saman didn't make any other payments. That is the meaning of, right, a student can be made, a student can make only one payment. Have you understood? I am justifying my meaningful sentences. Note, 1001 is entered only one time. So which means 1001 paid only 500 rupees and got 001. If I have 1001 again, then there is a complex thing. No, that may not be one-to-one, because here one student can make only one payment. For example, if this table has 1001, 700 and 008 or something, now it is wrong, because look here, a student who is at 1001, right, Saman, made two payments. Saman made 500 rupees and got 001 as a receipt. The same Saman made another payment and got 008, which is not one-to-one. So here, that's the reason why I told you to assume that these two tables have only 4 records. So in this case, Saman paid only one payment. So that is this one. One student can make one payment. Even I can confirm, or I can justify the second description. See, one payment can be made only one student. Listen to me very carefully. Here, this Saman, right? This Saman, listen to me. This Saman made this payment 500 and got 001 receipt. Right? So sometimes this is actually not practically possible, but I take it for an argument. Sometimes, if two students, right? Sometimes if two students make a payment as a group, as a pair or something, assume Saman and Vimal made a payment, right, as a group. So in this case, you know, only one receipt is issued. This is, again, this is practically impossible, but I took it for demonstration, right? Two students paid as a pair, as a group. So in this case, I can say that this 500 is paid not only by 1001, Vimal also paid. So which means 1005. So 1001 and 1005, both these students paid this 500. So here 500 and got the same receipt, right? Because since it is a group payment, there is no need for issuing two different receipts. So here 001 repeated. So now what is the meaning of this one, right? One payment. Look here, 001 again. So which means one payment is made by two students. This is the one. One payment can be made by only, here by only one student, right? But here, if it happens by two students. If it happens, right, if it is possible, one payment is made by two students. But you know, this is impossible, right? This is impossible. That's why such record cannot be found. Right? You cannot say that similar record is found. So what is the idea? One payment is made, only one student. You can't argue that 001 is repeated. If 001 is repeated, and then you can say one payment is made by two students. That is impossible. So this is one payment can be made by one student. Maybe a 20% of understanding is more than enough at this moment. If you have understood maybe 20%, even 10% of these things, it is enough for me at this moment, right? It will be okay when we when we take one-to-many or maybe some other examples, right? But I don't expect you to understand the whole thing at this moment. If you are good enough, then it is better, right? If you are able to understand the things which I explained, it would be better. But again, if you don't understand, there is no need for any worries. It will become easy when I took some other examples, or sometimes when I take one-to-many. Okay, right. So this is the one-to-one. Better I take the one-to-many and then come back and explain, or better come back and compare the one-to-one and one-to-many. After that, things become more simple, right? Now you may have some issues in understanding. I'm not sure, but some of you may have. But it would be better if I take one-to-many, right? Okay. So without further delay, I take one-to-many. So let me take the example first. After that, I will explain, right? So for one-to-many, I'm not going to take different examples. I will stick with the same example, right? So look here. Right, so let's make some changes, right? Let's make some changes in this table. Not make change, I want to add a new record, right? I'm not going to make any changes in the data, but let me add a new data, new record. So assume this is 007, 700 rupees, 1001, 1002, 1004, 1005, 1002, right? So two tables, student table, payment table, same tables, same fields. The only difference in between the first relationship and this one, I have a new data there, new record, right? Okay, right. Now look. So now you don't need to have any, assumption, right? So there may be hundreds of records available here. It is not an issue, right? Here also there may be hundreds of records possible, right? So this is not the problem. So, but in the first example, I wanted such thing, or I wanted such restriction because we have some problems, right? I will clarify them after explaining this. But here you may assume that there may be thousands of records in both tables, right? Including these 4 or 5, there may be other records found. It is not an issue. Okay, right, look. So these two tables have relationship because we have a common field, right? So we have a common field in both tables. So admission number is there, here also admission number. So since admission number is found, both tables have relationship, right? Let's check whether it is one-to-one, right? Before I take anything about one-to-many, better to check whether these two tables have one-to-one relationship. Okay, right. So again, as we did earlier, we can check it. Take the data here, right? I can take a data here. So look here. I take this data, 1001. How many similar data found in the second table? You have to check that. How many similar data found in the second table? 1001 there, here only one, right? So it seems to be one-to-one. So don't stop, go forward. Take another data. So I take a data in student table, right? So now see how many similar data in the student table. There are two data. Look there, 1002 here and also 1002 there. So the data in the first table has more than one data in the second table. But if it is one-to-one, the data in first table must have only one similar data in the second table. That is one-to-one. But here, the data in the first table has more than one. You may argue that first data has only one similar data. That may be okay. But if a data has more than one data, that should be taken into consideration. You can't say that this 1001 is found only once, then it is one-to-one. Yes, that may be one-to-one, but if a data has more than one similar data in the second table, that is the one to be taken into account, right? So here it is because of 1002, now I decide that it is not one-to-one, right? It is not one-to-one, because if it is one-to-one, every data in the first table has only one similar data in the second table. But now 1002 entered twice, so this is not one-to-one. Okay? But let's check in the opposite direction, right? In the opposite direction. So take a data, 1001, a data, right? Let's see how many similar data there. I take a data here. How many 1001 there? Only one. Right? Keep an eye on the figures, right? So now 1002. I take 1002. Let's see how many 1002s are there in the first table. Again, one. A data here, right? One data. I take a data there. How many similar data? Only one. Take 1004, right? A data in this table has only one similar data in student table. Take 1005. One data, right? I take a data. How many 1005s are there? Only one time. Right, last data. I take 1002. I take a data. Don't think that 1002 are entered twice. That is not the thing. You have to check every data, right? Even though the 1002 is checked already, that is not an issue. Now I take a data there. Now I must check how many times that 1002 entered in the first table. So I take a data here, and this data has only one similar data in the first table. So which means in this direction, from payment to student, it is one-to-one, right? From payment to student, it is one-to-one. So that is okay, right? When it comes to one-to-one relationship, the opposite direction is similar, right? But the one which when we check from student to payment, it becomes wrong, right? So that's why it is not one-to-one, right? So let's check the one-to-many relationship. So remember, if it is one-to-many, so since you have some foundation, now I can give a small idea. If it is one-to-many relationship, in one direction, it must be one-to-many relationship. I take my sentences. If it is one-to-many relationship, in one direction, because we join two tables and we have to check in both directions. So in one direction, the relationship must be one-to-many. What does it mean? Data in a table, one table has more than one similar data in the second table. That is one-to-many. Okay, so that kind of a relationship or that kind of feature found in one direction. In the opposite direction, it must be one-to-one. Have you understood? If it is one-to-many relationship, in one direction, it must be one-to-many. What does it mean? A data in first table has more than one similar data in the second table. But that is not enough to make the conclusion that the relationship is one-to-many. In one side, it must be. In the opposite side, it must be one-to-one. So if tables have such thing, then it must be one-to-many relationship. You can't say that one-to-many is found in both directions. It is wrong. In one direction, it is one-to-many. In opposite direction, it is one-to-one. It is that is the meaning of one-to-many relationship. If it is one-to-one relationship in both directions, it is one-to-one. If it is one-to-many relationship in one direction, you have to have one-to-many relationship. In the opposite direction, it must be one-to-one relationship, right? So let's check this once again. Listen to me. Okay, so I'm starting from student table to payment table, right? So this is student table, here payment table, right? So let's check again. Take the first data 1001, right? I take 1001 here. So now you have to check how many times, right? How many times that 1001 is entered there? How many times that 1001 is entered in the second table? How many times? Only one time. A data here has only one similar data in the second table. So like I said earlier, it seems to be one-to-one. So don't stop, go forward. Check the second one. I take a data there, right? 1002. How many times that 1002 is entered in payment table? How many times the data in student table, right? One data. How many times it is there? Two times, which means the data has many similar records or many similar data in the second table. So this is called one-to-many. A data in student table has many data in payment table. Okay, so you can ignore that one-to-one, right? So even though the 1001 has only one similar record, that cannot be taken into consideration. You have to check the higher values, right? So here 1002 has many similar data, so that must be taken into consideration, right? So it is one-to-many. You don't need to check the other records, because once you found one-to-many, it's enough, because there is no more higher relationships, right? So now you realize that it is one-to-many. So checking the rest of the records is actually useless. It is meaningless, right? So don't check and waste your time, okay? Because the relationship has been found. Check in the opposite direction. Right? Check in the opposite direction. Look here. Take this 1001. I take that 1001 data. Even though I already explained, I take it again for for getting some more ideas. A data 1001. A data. How many similar data there? One data. Let's take the second one. 1002. A data. How many 1002s are there? Again one. Take the third one, 1004. I take a data in payment table. How many similar data are found? Look there, only one. I take another data. How many? 1005. How many times that the 1005 entered? Only one. I take another data. I already told you, don't be confused with 1002. Even though 1002 is already there, already checked, right? It is not the thing, because we have to check whether every data has similar data. So now this 1002 has only one similar data, right? I take a data here that has only one data in the student table. So which means a data in the payment table has only one data in student table, right? A data in payment table has only one data in student table. This is one-to-many, because as I said earlier, in one-to-many, in one direction, it must be one-to-many relationship. In the opposite direction, it must be one-to-one relationship. So here, from student to payment, it is one-to-many. But from payment to student, it is one-to-one. So the conclusion is the relationship is one-to-many. Okay, don't forget, in one-to-one, in both directions, we find one-to-one relationship. But if it is one-to-many relationship, you can't say one-to-many in both directions. In one direction, it is one-to-many. In the opposite direction, it is one-to-one, right? So it may be any direction, right? Even in this direction, right? From here to here, sometimes one-to-many. From here to here, sometimes one-to-one. That is possible. I can't say that it must be one-to-many and the opposite is one-to-one. It may be one-to-one, it may be one-to-many. But in these two tables, we found such relationship, right? From payment, student to payment, one-to-many, from payment to student, one-to-one. Have you understood? So this is the idea behind one-to-many. But again, you need to understand one important thing. A data in one table or first table has more than one similar data in second table. A data in second table should have only one similar data in the first table. This is the description, or this is the definition for one-to-many relationship. But this common definition must be given special meaning based on tables, right? So since you have student table and payment table here, this kind of an idea should have a special meaning. I can elaborate, or I can interpret this idea, right? Having one, many, one, as a meaningful sentence, so in a meaningful manner. Okay, let's understand. So I'm going to take the same idea again, right? Drawing those two tables and having relationship. Listen to me. So this is student table, right? We have student table here. And also we have payment table. So let me draw a small diamond. So I just drawn as a symbol because I don't have enough space there. So it is make again, make. Right? Listen to me. This is something different. Listen to me. What's the relationship between these two? One-to-many. So as we discussed in the introduction part, if it is one-to-many, put the one-many here. One-many. Okay? Because as we discussed earlier, one data in student table has two similar data in the second table, right? One data in student table has two similar data in second table, which means payment table. So in the payment side, I put many. In the student side, I put one. Okay? I cannot put, right? I cannot put many here and one here. This is wrong in these tables. In some other table, this may be okay, but here it can't be, because according to this data, right? According to this data, the data in student table has many data in payment table. So in this side, it must be one. Here, it must be many. Okay, so let's extract meaningful sentences in order to describe one-to-many, right? So according to my previous comment description, what is it? What is it? A data in first table or data in student table has many data in payment table. In the opposite manner, a data in payment table, right? A data in payment table has only one similar data in student table, right? So now let's extract a meaningful sentence. Listen to me very carefully. Right? Can anyone give me a sentence in this direction? Can you give me a sentence, meaningful sentence from student to payment?
One student can make many payments.
Okay, good. One student. Look here. This table has students' data, but there is a one. So which means one student. The relationship is make. So make. That table has payment data, payment details. Not there is a many. So now we have to take that as many payments. So now I can say one student, right? One student can make many payments. One student can make many payments. That is the meaning of a data in first table or data in student table has more than one data in the payment table. So 1001 is here in student table, which means one student. having two similar, sorry, not 1001, 1002. 1002 there, right? One student, but 1002 twice entered, which means two payments. Look at that 1001 student made a payment for 200 rupees and got a receipt 002. And the same student, right? The same student made another payment for 700 rupees and got 007. What does it mean? One student, right, made two payments. He made a payment for 200 and got 002, and he also made another payment for 700 and got 007. So one student made two payments, right? Give me a meaningful sentence in the opposite direction, from payment to student. Can anyone?
Many payments can be made by one student.
One payment can be done by only one student.
Yes, very good. So you can't say that many payments are made by one student. That is not the idea, right? So you can't say many payment, right, can be made. Yes, there is a many, right? So I know that you have such confusions. So since M is there, so you thought that many payments are made by one student, right? That may be okay for you, but the real meaning is not like that. That is different, right? Like you said earlier, the last student says, as the last student said, one payment, even though it is many, right? Even though it is many, take it as one. I will explain with the help of this table later. So even though it is many, you have to start as one. So one payment is made by one student. One payment is made by one student. But it shows as many, but even though it is many, take it as one, because I tell you the reason here. Listen to me again. Listen to me carefully. So listen to me. There is an M because one student can make many payments. So that's why I put M. So when M is there, you may have a confusion, and you use that M and made the sentence as many payments are made by one student. You made such sentences, it is because of M, right? You found the M and gave a sentence like many students made, many payments are made by one student. But look here, 1002, 1002. Listen to me carefully, right? So here 1002, 1002. So which means many. So that is the meaning of many. But when we check when we check the relationship from here to here, so how to check the relationship from payment to student? So we have to check every data. So how did I check earlier? I take 1001, right? A data. Listen to me, a data. I take a data there, 1001. How many similar data there? Only one. Then I took 1002. I didn't take 2002. I took only one data. I took a data, right? So, but not 1002 is twice, but like that. Here many. So even though 1002 entered many times, but I didn't take that as many. I take a data, right? 1002, a data. How many similar data there? Only one. 1004. I take a data, right? How many times? Only one. A data, only one. So again, see 1002. But I don't take as 2002. I individually I can take them one by one, but not there are 2002. It looks like many. So even though you have many data, even though you have 2002, you took them as one by one. So what I'm trying to say is, even though you have many there, you have to take that as one. Have you understood? So here also, right, 1002. But I can't take that as 2002. I take one data. I divide them into small numbers and find it. So now I have to, at last I have to check whether this data, a data, has one similar data in the first table. Yes, this data has only one. So even though you have many there, don't take as many, right? So in the starting point, when many is in the starting point, ignore that as take it as one. So here actually one payment is made by only one student, right? So one payment is made only by one student. This is the idea. So one student can make many payments. That is okay. If I am a student, I can make many payments, 2 payment, 3 payment. But for a payment, there should be one student. So you can understand such dialogues or such sentences if we take these 2 tables again. Look here. Let's understand the first sentence. One student make many payments. Look here. 1002 entered twice. I already explained, right? So when you take the second record and the last record, you can understand the first sentence, right? One student, which means 1002. Who is it? Meena, right? Meena made 2 payments. Meena made 200 rupees and got 00 receipt. Sorry, 002 as a receipt. And she also made another payment for 700 rupees and obtained another receipt with 007 as a number. So which means Meena made 2 payments. One student, Meena is a student, one student made 2 payments. That is correct. Look at the second one. One payment is made by only one student. Right? One payment is made by only one student. So what's the meaning? I already explained. See, you can't say that 00. You can't say that the payment is made by a group, like a group, right? So if 2 students made this payment, 500, for example, assume this 500 is made by 1001 and 1005. So in this case, you have to write 500 again, right? 1005 again, and 001 repeated. If it happens, right? If this happens, it means a payment. Look there, 1001, right? Which means a payment, 500 rupees. One payment is made by 2 students. If this happens, right? But it never happens in this table. You can't argue that one payment is made by a group. This is impossible. So now, if it happens, so if it is repeated like this, then this sentence is violated, or this meaning should be violated, because according to this one payment is made by only one student, right? But here, if it happens, one payment 001 received, right? That payment is made by by 2 students, but that is not found, because for every payment, right? See, for every payment, because it's a primary key, for every payment, only one student. You can't say that 001 repeated because it's a primary key. Have you understood? So now I can be sure that 001 never be repeated. 002 never be repeated. So that is the meaning of one payment is made by only one student. Okay, so these are the things in this table, right? So whether you understood or not, so since the time is up, right? Okay, so time is almost up, but before we wind up, let me show one example, right? In order to give you some idea. After that, we can continue in the next class, right? So listen to me. I will give one more example. I will show one more example. Right. So check these 2 tables. Do they have any relationship? Do they have relationship? Answer me.
Yes.
Is there any relationship? Do they have relationship?
Yes, sir.
So how can you say that they have relationship? How can you justify?
There's a foreign key, so we can say that.
Yes,
they are-
that class ID, right? Class ID is a common field, right? Look here, in student table, admission number is the primary key. We discussed, we took enough time for discussing primary key and foreign key, right? So it is the primary key. So what is the primary key in class table?
Class ID.
Class ID. So what is the foreign key here? What is the foreign key here?
Class ID.
Class ID.
You can't say class ID. Class ID with what table? In which table?
Class ID of student.
Class ID. Student table.
Yes, class ID in student table, this one. So we create the relationship in this manner. A primary key of one table and the foreign key of another table are connected, right? Okay, so class ID is the foreign key here, right? So let me ask a quick question. I will explain in detail later, but I want to check whether you understood my examples, right? That's the reason why I'm showing. So can anyone tell me the type of relationship which these two tables have? What is the relationship maintained here?
One to many.
One to many. Others? It can't be many to many because I didn't explain many to many. So it may be one to one or it may be one to many. What is it?
One to many.
One to many. Right. Look. So let me give an idea, but definitely I will explain a little bit deeply in the next class. But I have to give you, I mean, I at least an idea, right? So here, this is class table, right? This is student table, okay? Class table there, student table there. This is primary key, okay? Class ID is a primary key, so which means these are never be repeated. But what about class ID in the student table? Look here, this student table has 4 records, sample record. There may be many records, right? There may be many records. There may be 100 students. There may be 20 students. We don't know. Have you understood? Even in class table also, there may be many classes, but I have shown only 11 classes, but there may be many classes. So even though you have many classes, you know, class ID never be repeated. This C1 never be repeated because C1 is given to 11A. So this is unique. Listen to me very carefully, right? This is unique. But what about this class ID? Will C1 be repeated? Will C1 be repeated again? Answer to my questions. Can I have C1 again for another record?
Yes.
Yes, because see C1 is a class, right? So in 11A, Saman is there. But you can't say that the Saman is the only person who is in 11A. There may be another person. If X is 11A, X there, X admission number, X date of birth, C1 there. If there is another student in C1, you have to write C1 again, right? So his date of birth, his name, if it is Y. So class ID should be repeated. So now it's very simple. Look here. In class table, I take a number, C1, right? One data. I take a data. How many similar data found in student table? Many data. Have you understood? In class table, I take a number C1. But there, you can't say only one data because in 4 records, it is 1. But you know, there may be many, right? So definitely it is many. And check the C2. So C2 also, here data 2 times entered. So many times. So from class to student, it is 1 to many. Check in the opposite direction. So how to check in the opposite direction? Take C1. Now I am going in this direction, from student to payment. Take C1. How many times C1 entered in class table? only one. Take C2, I take data there, right? I take a data in class table, C2. How many times C2 entered there? Only one, right? So I take C3 again, a data. How many times it is entered there? Only one. I take C2, a data, right? One data. How many times C2 there? Only one. So from student table to class table, 1 to 1. So in one side, 1 to many, in the opposite, 1 to 1. What does it mean? It is 1 to many. But definitely I will take some time and explain this same question again, because I went a little bit quicker than what I do normal, right? So I will have to explain this again, but please take some time, spend some time in taking this question, because these are something little confusing or little difficult than what we studied earlier, right? So the things which we learned earlier are not hard, but this is not hard actually, but it may become hard if you don't understand properly, right? So take some time and understand. We will continue these things in the next class, right? So thank you.